Welcome back to G&T Sailing. This is our second season cruising, our third season on YouTube. We are excited to be here.
Finally.
Obviously, we're back on the boat. In this episode, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do some reflections on some lessons learned, things that we like, things that we didn't like, things we want to do more of, things that we're not going to do at all coming up during this season. And you're going to see us leave Wisconsin, make our way across the country, over the border to San Carlos, Mexico, where Felicita was on the hard all summer. Welcome to G&T Sailing. If you're new here, I'm Gretchen and this is Tim. Together aboard Felicita, our Catalina 42, we're exploring this beautiful marble we call home. You'll find us this season sailing further south along Mexico's Pacific coast and deeper into the Sea of Cortez. We don't care where we go, we just care that we go, and we're glad you're coming along for the ride.
Mexico is sexy-go!
Apparently it is supposed to maybe snow on Sunday, which is definitely a sign that we gotta get out of here.
Perfect snowbirds. As soon as the snow flies, we fly.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about what's coming up?
I'm starting to get used to the idea that we gotta leave. Still don't want to think about all the stuff we have to do on the boat, but yeah, it's all happening. I feel like we're in this mode where you've got the daily project list on the fridge, and we're just rocking and rolling.
So part of heading back to the boat is stocking up on all of the cleaning supplies for our Airbnb so that we can make some money while we're on the boat. And then we had a few things that we needed to buy that we can't get in Mexico. And now we're headed home with all of the stuff we've been collecting all summer. Now we have to sort it and try to condense it down because we don't have room for all of these boxes. So home to sort and repack. It's Thursday and we leave on Monday at hopefully 7 a.m. So every season starts with the big sort. Kitchen stuff, filters, rando stuff, tools, goops. Most importantly, 24 bags of Triscuits, and I think that's 12 pounds of coffee. And surprisingly, you cannot get green Tabasco in Mexico, so we're taking some of that too. Water maker filters, new Windex for the top of the mast, some other food. Another thing you can't get in Mexico, canned tomatoes. You can get tomato paste and lots of fresh tomatoes. Got some wine, our favorite Trader Joe's smoked trout, a bunch of tins of that. So anyway, trying to get stuff as condensed as possible. But now the big worry is what happens when we get to the border crossing. We've been unpackaging everything, especially all the equipment, so that it's not in its original packaging with like a barcode or something. And we're hoping that if we get stopped, they don't take issue and start trying to put a value on all of the stuff that we have here. Good times. But we'll see. Hopefully we get a green light. What's the update out here?
It snowed overnight. A little bit of snow on the car. It's time to get the hell out of here.
Okay, it is Monday, October 30th, and we are leaving the North Woods of Wisconsin.
Just in time. The first snowfall was this morning or last night.
Yeah, it is really cold. I am majorly underdressed, so hopefully we don't have car trouble.
Did you bring a coat?
I have a windbreaker. There's no room for a coat. This car is literally stuffed to the max. So today we're gonna get to the Iowa border. So how many miles do we have to go today?
Well, we have 607 left. We've already gone about 25.
Yeah. How are you feeling about our departure?
I'm glad that we're leaving now because it's too damn cold.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to answer our 4 questions during this retrospective, and the first question that we're going to answer is, what do we think went well during season 1? So what do you have to say?
A lot of things went well. More things went well than went bad, I think. So that's why we're back for another season. Okay, one of the things I felt was really challenging was I lived on the boat for over a year in San Diego. We had moved out of the apartment. I lived on the boat while you were in Wisconsin or wherever you were for a while, and I was finishing up getting to retirement, so I was on the boat and experiencing boat life, which was okay. I didn't really register it until then. We launched and went on the Baja, and then we went down to Mexico. We went up into the sea. We went down. We did our whole thing, and at the end of it all, added it all up, it was over a year that I was on that boat, and I was super ready to get off of that boat and into a house or into just land life for a while. So that was, in hindsight, it was very challenging for me. At the time, I only noticed it a little bit. It didn't really bug me, but once I was off that boat, I really felt it, how that was challenging.
Well, and I wonder if it really was bugging you and you just didn't know it was bugging you.
Maybe, yeah. But the one feeling that I had, it was hard to identify, so maybe that was a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not really known for being that in touch with my feeling.
He's working on it, though.
Yeah, you're trying to find more feelings. I've lived my whole life with just the one, and everything's been fine. I don't think I need to go digging, finding some more feelings. You've got plenty of feelings for the duels.
There's so many things I could say right now that I'm not going to say. Here we are in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, and we're going to share some more of our reflections from our first cruising season.
Okay, one of the things that we really liked, actually loved about the cruising life last year, was meeting friends with obviously similar goals and desires, and just the bonds that we made and the fun that we had.
It started with the Baja Haha, so we talk about that a little bit in our reflections of joining a rally and why to join a rally, but it really continued on through the whole season.
Absolutely. Everywhere we went, we met new people. We ran into people that followed us on Instagram, or that we followed. And yeah, it was just amazing how we loved everybody we met. We didn't meet any jerks.
Yeah, and I was really surprised how much I loved buddy boating. And like I wasn't seeking that or thinking that I was going to really care about that. I mean, I knew I was going to enjoy meeting people, but I really loved coordinating with people and like truly experiencing the lifestyle together with other people.
Yeah.
And sharing some of the anxieties and the frustrations and like the whole shebang. I loved it.
Especially our first crossing when we went from La Paz down to Muertos or whatever, and then we crossed to Mazatlan. We did that with Salt Whistle, and that was comforting knowing we were going to end up in the same place. But we met up in Mazatlan, and it was just, I think it really eased the anxiety of our first crossing.
Something like
sure hope I remember how to drive a boat.
Some of their UAW jobs.
Biggest changes I think we're going to make this year that I'm really looking forward to is more boat breaks. We're going to take 2 breaks from each other and the boat, actually. And it's not about breaks from each other, really. It's more about getting off the boat. And like I have mentioned several times, I was on that boat nonstop for over a year. And in the hindsight, after I got off the boat, that really was not a good thing. So I'm really looking forward to taking those breaks and going and seeing my people and just being off the boat for a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple times during the season. And then we'll extend the season as well because of those breaks. Honey, I'm home.
Hello.
Hey, Tico. So another thing that went really well was provisioning and food management, but that's mostly because of your project management skills. I got a lot of recipes. I'm a recipe follower, so we're good at this at home even. We just do really good meal planning and get good lists together, and we go. Tiny bit of a challenge that you can't always get exactly what you want, but that challenged me to cook off of the recipe a little bit, which has been good for my cooking game.
That's a good segue to one of the things that we're going to do differently this season is we are going to carry a lot less food between stops, because even in these small fishing villages, they have palapas where you can get the basic stuff, and you catch fish and if you're buddy boating with other people, if you need an onion, usually somebody has an onion.
Or an egg, exactly.
So we're going to carry less food this year between provisioning stops.
Okay, one of the things that we would do differently, and we touched on this in our recap of the Baja season, is to get more south quicker, because we got stuck up north in the cold north winds. I wanted to swim and stand up paddleboard, snorkel, all that stuff, and we just couldn't because we were always in cold water, cold winds. So this year we're going to get south quicker and farther south, get to the warm weather, and spend more time doing that kind of stuff. And then when the weather warms up north, we'll head back north.
One of the things that I found really challenging, especially at the beginning of the season, but it really followed me throughout the entire season, was sort of some anxiety around anchoring and really trusting our ground tackle. It got better as the season went on because we sat through some pretty big wind and currents and lots of different conditions, and our 55-pound spade and all chain rode were rock solid, and we have an anchor alarm, but it just took me a minute to get comfortable. One of the things that I want to keep doing this season is wearing our Team Talks headphones when we're maneuvering the boat.
AKA the marriage savers.
Yes, that is what they're called, and they are not wrong about that. So here's the deal. Tim does not, at the beginning, Tim really was like, these things are stupid. Like, he was super resistant. However, we use them, and I think your attitude changed about them. Like, you still sort of like grumble when I'm like, put your headphones on.
I agree in this instance. When I'm up on the bow doing all the anchor and it's noisy, you're back there with the engine running and whatever, those are very nice. I have come aboard on the Marriage Saver walkie-talkie from the station.
Hi, Sadie.
How are you?
Good you guys.
Say hi to YouTube.
What's up, YouTube? We're out here at Sunday dinner in Phoenix, Arizona at Kirsten's Kitchen Corner. All right, let's get cooking.
Well, like lizards picking over the bones. Grab another one of those bags. Where are they?
How's it taste? You're on video.
That's good.
Hey, like father, like son.
Picking over the bones. We're bone pickers.
Another thing that went really well was figuring things out on the boat. We had the luxury of spending so much time refitting the boat in San Diego with our now good friend Mike. He taught me a lot. I was his right-hand man, and I learned so much about everything on the boat. That went well, cutting the umbilical cord and actually me having to figure it out, or even together. A couple of the things that went wrong, you were really good at just pulling stuff up on YouTube, thought partnering with me on figuring things out, and we got much more confident in the fact that we can figure it out. And that the things that break down really aren't, in the end, they're not that big of a deal. I think the unknown, we think it's a big deal, but now that we've figured a bunch of stuff out, it's not that big of a deal. I don't want to jinx it because big things can happen, but I think it went well. Our learning curve went well, that we are a good team in that aspect too, that we can work through even problems of things that you really don't understand, but a lot of things. Right. We still worked very well together to get to the end result, a solution. You kept me calm too a lot, because I tend to get a little amped up, not knowing what I need to do, and it was a nice calming effect to just have somebody else thinking about it,
Work the problem.
looking things up and working the problem together. So one of the things that we found challenging was the waiting out northers, the northers. We've talked about it before. We're actually doing that right now, waiting out northers. We got to Puerto Escondido yesterday, knowing that there was a 3-day norther coming. So we're on a ball and we're just sitting here doing stuff and waiting out a norther so we can move again. And hopefully our plan to get further south quicker will miss some of these northers, because it seems like a upper half of the sea kind of thing, these northers, and they're for real, and you cannot be moving around during those northers. They're pretty serious.
Yep. One of the things that I think went really well this season is that we were able to sail in all kinds of conditions, and we did it all successfully in all different points of sail. In San Diego, the weather was so predictable that we kind of just sailed the same sail over and over.
Yeah, we just go out of the bay, sail around and come back.
Yeah, and so in this instance, we just got a lot more variety and handled it all really well.
Well, yeah, and different sea states.
Yeah.
Different points of sail, different sail plans. We used all of our sails.
Yeah.
It was really good. Okay, so one of the things we want to do more of this season is get off the boat a little bit more. Last year, I spent a lot of time fixing things and even worrying about things that were going to break that I'd had to fix. So hopefully not going to have to do that this season as much, and I would really like to use the stand-up paddleboard a lot more. Swim. I didn't swim much last year, hoping we're going to get to warmer waters quicker and do some more swimming and hiking. There's so much hiking literally at every anchorage we go to, and just get off the boat and do some more of that stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't do enough of that last year.
Yeah, and that's a good segue to one of the things that I want to do differently. So I'm still working, and I did my work schedule last year so that I worked in the morning, kind of thinking that that would free up time in the afternoon to get off the boat. But one of the things that we observed being down here in Mexico is that it's a lot calmer wind-wise in the morning, so it's easier and kind of more enticing to get off the boat in the morning before the wind comes up. And so I'm going to adjust my working hours, at least some of the time, to work more in the afternoon and save the morning time for getting off the boat and doing some of those, some of those activities. So this life is awesome. And it's super fun, and it kind of feels like you're on vacation all of the time, because you kind of are on vacation all of the time. However, one of the things that we want to do differently this season is do a little bit more social life that isn't just centered around food and alcohol.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It was like being on vacation, which you usually do for a week or two, but we did it for 7 months, where sunrises every day, sundowners, drinking, eating. It was a blast, but we do have to kind of temper that a little bit, that we can't do it every day.
Yeah.
And just try to find other things to entertain ourselves
socially with people, because you want to be around people. And it's really important to have that.
And
but
we've met some awesome people.
Yeah, but doing more excursions and more like, let's go snorkel together, let's go take a hike, let's
rent a car and go to the nearest city or town. And there's all kinds of stuff to do.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to revolve around eating and drinking.
Right.
Family dinner complete. Off for Mexico.
Dress for me in Mexico, or just do San Carlos and figure it out when we get there?
Yeah.
So having said all that, we just really want to thank all of you guys out there, because we're getting a lot more subscribers. We started this thinking that we're just going to do this for our family and our friends, and we just keep getting more subscribers, and it's really been fun. I was a little bit cranky about it from the beginning, thinking it was kind of dorky, but I'm getting into it. I see the finished product, and it's really
fun to meet all of you, people who comment and reach out to us. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been surprisingly fun and good. So I'm anxious to do more of it now. I really am. I'm not cranky about it at all. And so looking forward to the next season, and hope you stick around, and we'll see you on the other side. See you out here. Yeah, exactly. Mexico. Come for the sailing, stay for the boobies.